Alright, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, gonna be going back into another Overwatch related video. In this specific video, this is, for me, a very hot topic because, well, I guess for me to post is a very hot topic because it flat out is a hot topic. People have opinions and they might not necessarily agree with a lot of this discussion, but nevertheless, we're gonna dive into it. So the question that comes up very often is this the most unfun meta since Overwatch 2 started? Question mark. This has to be the most unfun meta in years. Every single game ends with a Zarya / Orisa / Bastion in the lobby. Losing? Question mark. Switch to Bastion and you get a free win. How is it still not patched yet? Nobody is having fun with this. I'd rather play Mystery Hills with the BS RNG. So something to take note of before, diving into the discussion is this was posted prior to the Bastion hotfix, where basically they just took away the healing that he did once he switched to the assault mode, which is when he starts blasting. So they took away the healing, which definitely hurts his survivability. And the one session I played, which was like a 3-hour session, since that hotfix, I saw like one Bastion or 2 at the most. Orisa is designed poorly in my opinion. I don't know why they reworked her to counter half the tank roster in a 5v5 setting. Looking at the follow-up comment rule here because I think it does that a lot. Crazy. Everyone loved her new design on release. The problem is that there doesn't seem to be a middle ground with her. Too many nerfs and you never see her. Too many buffs and the entire tank roster is doomed minus Zar. So that's something that I think is very, very, very valid. Throughout the nerfs that she originally got when her survivability felt too crazy, people were happy, but then there was a lot of people who were like, man, we never see Orisa anymore. So then they buffed her and it didn't even feel like a fat buff, but it was enough to where you see her all the time and everyone's complaining now and people are like, crap, there's too many Orisas and she just does not die. And to their credit, yeah, she is very hard to kill. Any meta with Zarya in it post Overwatch 2 release hell has been hell. A lot of Zarya right now, that's for sure. I still can't believe that a damage forward tank literally ignores the sole tank ability of another tank. And the community defends it because Diva can use high ground. Of course, shield tanks counter Zarya, but Orisa and Bastion is meta, and we know what it's like as a range / Winston. I really wish we could have a game where you could play the hero you want without putting your team at a major disadvantage. I mean, you just have to be that much better. For example, there's some Winston players that it doesn't matter who the other tank is. If they're just that good, they're definitely going to put up a fight. But your average Winston player, of course, it's a struggle. Your average Ryan player, of course, it's a struggle. But again, that Bastion hotfix does change things. You're probably going to see, or you are seeing already, less Bastions, while Ryans can feel a little bit more at ease knowing they're just not going to get countered every 2 seconds. Granted, countering is always going to be part of the meta, so you still could definitely see Bastions when you're a Ryan. I don't think I've ever seen Overwatch players happy with any meta ever. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that. Yeah, no, we haven't, LOL. The happiest I've seen it was probably during dive meta, and that didn't last long. Well then, and the very start of Overwatch before a real meta was developed and you had no limits or comp mode. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the most times I've ever seen people openly shit on a meta as a unit. I mean, before there was certain parts of a crowd, now it just feels like there's complaining on an entire role, which is tank. I feel like every tank complains about it, but also DPS complain about Orisa survivability, and then supports. I don't know if I've seen supports complain about the meta too much, but then again, I could just be missing that. Double sniper and soldier in meta were worse. Nope, we had a hog meta sometime around season 2. Yeah, that meta was pretty freaking wild. He was consistently one-shotting everyone. That shit was crazy. Oh yeah, that was awful. I love Overwatch, but I did not love that season. I just started playing in late season 1 or mid season 1. And yeah, season 2 is when I started getting into the full swing of things where I was playing a lot more often. And Hog was just absolute dominant. Absolutely just dominant. Season 2 was significantly worse, in my opinion. TTK, time to kill, was nothing. It's not great time when people play Orisa slash Zarya slash Bastion, but I've gotten a lot of games in Diamond where neither team plays that, or I focus the shit out of their Bastion and they switch. Those games have been awesome. I've never had a single meta where I didn't get a bunch of games that were off meta, and I'm always confused when everyone says they never see a single off meta match. Yeah, everyone complaining just forgot about Hog meta and Sojourn before that. Sojourn and Hog were probably the most broken characters of all time on this game, at least that I can think of. I know Widow gets a lot of complaints, but Sojourn was just flat out overpowered. They had to nerf the shit out of her, and more than just once. Hog, again, that 1 kill potential was insane. Okay, just adding more on to the Season 2 meta. No, I'd rather take this over Sojourn meta, which again was Season 2. One-shots are just way less fun. Which, yeah, Sojourn would be able to one-shot you fucking from a distance, and she'd be able to do insane work up close. And back then, pre-nerf to Sojourn, her R1 button, if you're on PlayStation, her little shooter thing that has a area damage. Anyway, that thing would also slow down enemies, so that shit was pretty freaking crazy too. And it didn't have as long of a cooldown, including her slide. She was just all in all just way better. Granted, it was broken, but definitely better. I feel if a team is losing, they switch to Sim and Torb and they win. I hate those two. I wish they would change it to where if you kill them, their turrets would disappear too. That would pretty much kill their value entirely, though, if you ask. I mean, would it? I feel like it would absolutely kill them. I wouldn't go that far to say get rid of their turrets after death. To me, they don't feel too overpowered. Ooh, this is a good one. I will never forget how broken Genji plus Sojourn was for months on launch. I was ready to uninstall. It was so unfun, especially as a support player. Nothing will ever be worse than that was. So Genji, when he got his nerf, I always had a hard time playing with Genji. I was never good with him. But when he got his nerf, I was like, why would they nerf him? He's not that crazy. But seeing him after the nerf and seeing how annoying he is at high levels when Genji is just that good, I can't imagine pre-nerf Genji. And then we talked about it earlier, Sojourn was so insane. Orisa is only meta because her survivability is absolutely busted. Zarya is annoying because people don't know how to play against her. One thing I will say about Zarya is, yeah, some people definitely don't know how to play against her. They shoot her when they shouldn't shoot her and just give her her energy. Or oftentimes when they should shoot her, they don't, when they realize, oh shit, we are giving her energy. But if you never ever shoot her when she's bubbled, the problem is that now she's just surviving for as long as she does get her bubble and then can kind of wait back for her supports. So it's kind of, you have to play a bit of both where you should shoot her when her bubble comes out, but only when you know you can really have a chance at killing her, as opposed to just, oh, tank's there, let me just boom, 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 and just start blasting. So it's a mixture of when should I shoot her when she's in her bubble, and also when should I not shoot her when she's in her bubble. Always, always, always go when you have a chance at actually killing her. Don't feed her energy if you know that she's going to survive. If you're a Bastion, it's pretty easy to take down a Zarya. Soldier 76 does work against Zarya as well. Somebody who can just apply so much pressure. Orisa, I will say, is flat out annoying because of her survivability. But in terms of damage, she's not like some major threat. But because she's surviving for so goddamn long, she's gonna run up the numbers. We'll do last comment here. I can see why this is the most unfun one for most people, but it's definitely not to me. Why? Well, my main against one of those three. Well, my main ain't one of those three, but she still shines against them. Like Orisa is just a beat stick. Bastion can be killed by stalling out the minigun form, then killing him when he transforms back. And then Zarya gets bullied if I choose to bitch behind my tank and hope that Zarya tries to shoot my friendly tank instead of me. For me, the most unfun meta would definitely be the one-shot hog meta, mainly because you'd see a hog almost every game, and the meta hogs only need 3 plays. Hook shot melee, run away into the hook shot until the hook finishes its cooldown, hook a person to throw them off the map. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, this still is like most, I mean, I would say 1 and 3 are still very valid. Number 2, not so much, but with the Roadhog rework coming soon, we'll see how that goes. While his third play is fine because that's a good play and a nice one to always see, the other two plays were boring as heck. I want to fight a hog that's actually going to shoot me without having to rely on one shot. Meta would have been fine if there wasn't so many meta hogs only playing hog and only doing those first two plays. To me, I think ultimately what it comes down to with hog is if you can eliminate the amount of one shots he does as a tank, because DPS is one thing, they're easy to kill, very low HP count. Tanks are very hard to kill because that's the nature of being a tank. You have to take a lot of damage. So very frustrating to see a Roadhog one shot, and even now he can still do pretty insane damage. I just believe it's a lot more difficult to one shot. I've been one shotted one too many times by Roadhog, but you know, that's just how it goes. It is what it is with a lot of this discussion though. Like, people are very frustrated with how things are every season. There's always going to be nitpicking. For me, I don't think this season's that bad. The one thing that I find very, very, very annoying is just Orisa's survivability. You know, it's one thing for her just to do more damage than others, but when she just cannot die, it's like, holy shit, dude. It's a headache. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, this is Ollie Been Different. All we've been different. And we out.